here, bringing you the third in my series of videos in which I'm going to share with you the 4 success factors that are essential if we are going to succeed in our clutter clearing journey. Now, in the first video in this series, I shared with you the 7 things that have got in the way of my life over the last year. And in the last video, I shared with you my own current clutter clearing journey, which is not physical clutter in my home. I dealt with that back in 2001. It's been my weight clutter, which has been a problem throughout my life, and I have finally been confronting and clearing over the last year. And as a result of that journey, it's been a really useful reminder for me that our physical clutter in our homes and other types of clutter like weight clutter are very parallel. The things that we need to do and that we need to succeed at doing in order to successfully overcome them are extremely similar, as you will see with these 4 success factors which I'm about to share with you. Okay, so I have what looks like a bit of a crazy diagram on the board here. It's basically 4 circles that are interlocking. And each of these circles represents a different success factor that I required in order to succeed with my weight clutter, and that I used and needed when I was clearing my physical clutter in my home back in 2001. So I'm going to take this first circle at the top. This one represents what I call understanding and support. Understanding and support. I apologise as always for my handwriting. I got my husband to do these stickers so that at least that didn't look too bad. So, understanding and support, what does that mean? Well, on my weight clutter clearing journey over the last year, that has meant that I have needed to understand why I've had such a challenge with my weight, why it has fluctuated so much, especially over the last 25 years. No, nearly 30 years, crikey, nearly 30 years of my life. And the support that I have had during the last year on that journey. For me, I got my understanding and support success element from my counsellor, which I mentioned in my last video. I've been seeing a counsellor every week. She's an expert in the field of weight, and that's where I got that from. I couldn't start my weight loss journey until I understood the causes. Now, this is the same with our physical clutter in our home. If we don't understand why we've got our physical clutter, why it grows back when we've tried to clear it, we're never going to successfully clear it for good. And just like with the weight challenge, I wanted to clear it for good. I don't want to be having to yo-yo between diets. I don't want to put the weight back on again like I have done in the past and then have to lose it again. I wanted this to be a one-way journey, which was a long-term solution to my weight challenge. Exactly the same when I had my physical clutter in my home challenge back in 2001. I didn't want to keep blitzing it. I didn't want to think about putting my physical clutter in self-storage units. I didn't want to have to buy a bigger home. I wanted to get to the root of the problem and solve it once and for all. So the understanding and support is really important as we start any clutter clearing journey. Okay, the second circle here. This circle represents method. Okay, now in terms of my weight loss clutter clearing journey over the last year, and as it continues, the way that I have been dealing with my weight and reducing it was going to be key to my success. This is where my support with my counsellor has been invaluable, because the way that I've been doing it before wasn't, with hindsight, a healthy way to do it. I had been on the crash diets, I had done the excessive exercise to burn it all off. I had got, I realise with hindsight, an unhealthy attitude to losing weight and food. What's the first thing you want when you're told you can't eat chocolate? Chocolate. Luckily, I'm allergic to chocolate, so that was never going to be a problem. But nonetheless, the way that I was going to lose the weight safely, healthily, steadily, was going to matter. Exactly the same with the physical clutter in our home. If you've ever tried to clear your clutter, you will know, I'm sure, about the blitz approach, where we go, right, I'm just going to be really ruthless and get rid of as much as I can, and I'm just going to decide, do I keep it or do I chuck it? Maybe I'll give it to charity. Maximum 3 options. Guess what? Doesn't work, does it? We panic. It might come in useful. We might regret it. If we've blitzed before, then we'll know that actually, there have been some things that I've regretted getting rid of. So most of it tends to end up in the keep pile when we do a blitz. Equally, the off-site self-storage unit solution or method is not really a solution, because all we're doing is we're paying somebody else to house our clutter for us. And even when we get it out of the home and into the self-storage unit, very often new clutter grows in the space that we've created in our home. That method doesn't work. The moving it from corner to corner, room to room, doesn't work either. Hiding it in storage solutions, eventually we run out of space for more storage solutions. So that's not a method that works. So it's really, really important that we get a method that works. The clutter clearing process is the method that I discovered when I cleared my clutter, and is the one that I share with everybody who is really serious about succeeding long-term at clearing their clutter. Okay, so whether it was my weight issue or whether it was my physical clutter back in 2001, the method was a really important success factor. Okay, this circle here, this bottom circle, what does this represent? I call this the physical. So, with my weight clutter clearing journey over the last year, this physical has actually meant the exercise that I needed to do alongside the food. So if you like, it was the practical application of the method. Yeah, so that was the massive learning and understanding that I got, that actually losing the weight was 80% about the food and 20% about the exercise. Now, the method I had used before in years gone by actually tended to focus as much or more about the exercise than the food. So that was a huge shift for me. Hard, if I'm honest, to get my head around, because it was so different to a lot of the things that you see out there. So it was at the physical level, it was the practical planning my meals, learning about the foods that were going to help me with losing weight, and making time to go to the gym. Making the priority to do that 20% exercise. It may only be 20%, but nonetheless, there's 20% that needs to be done there. So the physical was really, really important. In terms of our clutter clearing, we may understand about where our clutter challenge comes from. We may have a method that's going to work, the clutter clearing process. Lots of people invest in the clutter clearing ebooks that detail the step-by-step process. But if we don't actually turn that into practice and do the doing, as I call it, with the physical clutter that we've got, we're never going to clear it. So again, it's adding all these things together in order to achieve the success that we need. So the fourth and final circle, what does that represent in these 4 success factors? Well, this represents time. Okay, Whether it's a little or a lot of time, we need to allocate and make time to do our clutter clearing. Just like with me, with my weight loss challenge, if I didn't make time to do the physical exercise and plan my meals using the method that works based on the understanding that I have, and I also get support to make time as well by having personal training reviews every month, then I simply wouldn't clear the physical weight clutter. Exactly the same with our physical clutter in our home. If we don't make time to do the doing using the clutter clearing process on our clutter, we are not going to clear the clutter. Really, really simple factor. Now, some people think that just a little amount of time is enough. Again, that's where the blitzes can come in. So the amount of time, remember, we're doing this in a way so that we never have to do it again. I am losing weight in a way that may have slowed down a bit over the last couple of months, but it's still headed in the right direction. I will get there. And at least when I get there, I'm not going to repeat what I've done for the last 30 years of trying to lose weight, putting it back on, then trying to lose it, then put it back on. I know that even if it takes me another year to lose the remainder of the weight that I need to lose, I'm going to stay there because I have changed the way that I live, that I eat, and that I exercise. I make time regularly now to go to the gym. It is part of my life. Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening, I go to the gym and I do a 1 hour workout in the gym, and then I do 50 lengths in the pool. That's just what I do. That is part of my life. Exactly the same with our clutter clearing. There are some new habits that we need to create in order to maintain a clutter-free space. These are things that we're going to need to do at least a couple of times a year, a couple of times a week for forevermore. But again, once we make them part of our habit, part of our routine, that will be easy to maintain a clutter-free home and life. So these interchanging bits, why are all these 4 success factors interlinked? Well, that's because they need to work together to get the success. And this bit here, this orange bit, that is where we get the fastest results. Fastest results. Okay, my clients who are understanding, learning about their clutter, where it's come from, how to deal with it, how to maintain, and indeed those who are getting my regular support, however that may be, lots of ways to get that, who are using the clutter clearing process, the method, who are making time to work on the physical clutter by doing the doing, and who are making time regularly to do that doing, they are getting the fastest results, okay, because they've got all 4 of these success factors. Those people who are doing the method, the understanding and the time, but not actually doing the doing, so not doing their clutter clearing sessions, and those people in these sections, what does that represent? That represents procrastination. Okay. Procrastination, simply not making the time to actually do the doing. We may make time, but then we get distracted. Maybe we start doing some clutter clearing and then we see something in the clutter. Oh, I've remembered I've got to do this. Or, oh, I just watched this TV program before I actually do some doing. That's a very easy bad habit, if you like, to get into. I used to do that with the exercise. Since I started my weight clutter clearing journey and I joined the gym, we only joined the gym back in May, but my husband and I used to watch the soaps here in the UK, a couple of the soaps anyway, in the evening. And before you know it, that's 2 hours a day that is gone. So we gave up the soaps and we go to the gym instead. And I have to say, I've achieved an awful lot more by going to the gym 3 times a week than I would have achieved if I'd sat in front of the TV for those 3 times a week. So it's a hard one. But I realise now that was part of my procrastination and avoidance, dealing with doing what I knew needed to be done. It's so easy, isn't it, to say, oh, I don't have time. But actually, there are only a certain number of hours in a week, 168 hours in a week. How we choose to spend that time is entirely up to us. And almost admitting that actually we probably spend more time watching TV or surfing the internet, wasting time doing things that aren't getting us any closer to the goals that we say we want to achieve. Admitting that and then doing something about it is quite a hard task. We can feel guilty for actually realizing that we are procrastinating. Okay, what about these sections here, where we're doing everything apart from allowing time to happen? Well, these 2 sections here, so this one here and that one there, so the red sections, those are the areas where we're actually just having a blitz. So we're not acknowledging that this is going to take time and that this is a journey. We might make some time to do a little bit of doing the doing. We might have the method, the clutter clearing process. We might even understand and have some support to do the doing. But the support, if it's friends and family, often that can be help to do a blitz, because they don't have a lot of time to be able to give us and to help us. So actually, it's a blitz that ends up happening. And then the final area that we just need to be aware of is here. Okay, so these 2 sections here are sections where we don't actually have a method. Okay, and when we don't have a method that's actually going to work and help us clear some clutter off our conveyor belt, all that is actually reorganizing. Now, you may be familiar with this. I had this when I had my physical clutter challenge back in 2001. I would make time to do some decluttering. I would actually go through stuff, and I would simply move things into piles. I would put them in piles of types of things, so a pile of books, a pile of clothes, a pile of things that I haven't yet done, but I would never actually use a method. Maybe it was the blitz, maybe it was the Keep Chuck charity, maybe it was the putting things into storage, but I didn't actually have a method that was going to work. So when I discovered the clutter clearing process that is guaranteed to work when you follow it, suddenly I was getting success. So I hope that makes sense. Now, looking at those 4 success factors, the understanding and support, the method, the physical doing the doing, and the time, which one of those 4 success factors do you think you've been missing? Which one of those 4 success factors do you think you've been missing? Maybe it's more than one that you realise you haven't been applying to your clutter clearing journey recently. But once we know which bit of those success factors is missing, it may help explain why we've not been getting the success that we would want. Maybe it explains why we've been procrastinating, that actually we've been doing a blitz or just reorganising things, moving things about rather than actually clearing them. And hopefully you can also see now that actually if you want results fast and to last, you're going to need a bit of each of these 4 success factors in order to succeed. Do let me know in the comment box below which of the 4 success factors you think you've been missing, because I guarantee that other people watching this will be in a similar position to you. I would be really interested to see which is the most popular success factor that people are missing, because again, that helps me. If I know that one of these is very dominant with determined clutter clearers, then obviously I can make sure that I am providing enough options for that particular success factor. Okay, but let me know below. Let's share and understand which success factors we've had missing. Great, I hope that's been helpful, and hopefully also you know that you are not alone, and do let me know in that comment box below. All right, I shall speak to you again very soon. Take care.